Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing in the tech world lately, the MacBook Neo and its surprising capabilities. But here's the kicker, I'm not just here to tell you what it can do. I'm here to challenge the way we think about tech reviews and real-world usage. Because, personally, I think there's a massive disconnect between what reviewers say and how actual users experience these devices. And the MacBook Neo is the perfect example of this. So, here's the hook. What if the laptop everyone's calling not powerful enough is actually just fine for most people? Crazy, right? But stick with me, because this isn't just about specs, it's about how we use technology and what really matters in our daily lives. Let's start with Sam Henri Gold's recent blog post. He talks about how tech reviewers often dismiss devices like the MacBook Neo for tasks like video editing. But here's the thing, he's not just defending the laptop, he's making a broader point about how we approach technology. He shares this nostalgic story about editing videos on a 2006 iMac as a kid. Now, that machine was not built for video editing, it had 3 GB of RAM and a spinning hard drive. But did that stop him? No way. He says, I knew the machine was wrong for what I wanted to do with it. I didn't care. And that's the essence of it, right? Sometimes, we just want to create, and we'll make do with what we have. What makes this really interesting is how it applies to the MacBook Neo. Reviewers might say it's not the ideal machine for 4K video editing, but here's the reality, people are doing it anyway, and it's working just fine. Tyler Stallman tested it with Final Cut Pro, and Roman Loyola pushed it with Adobe Premiere Pro. Both of them edited 4K video without any major issues. Sure, the machine used swap memory, but here's the thing, they didn't notice a performance hit. And that's huge. Because, in my opinion, the real test of a device isn't whether it can handle a task in a lab, it's whether it can handle it in the real world, where people are juggling multiple apps, browser tabs, and deadlines. Speaking of browser tabs, let's talk about Chrome. We all know it's a memory hog, but Loyola opened 59 tabs on the MacBook Neo. 59. And while the swap memory ballooned to nearly 8 GB, the laptop didn't flinch. He could switch between tabs, use other apps, and keep Chrome running in the background without any noticeable slowdown. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just impressive, it's a testament to how well Apple optimizes its hardware and software. What many people don't realize is that raw specs only tell part of the story. It's how those specs are utilized that really matters. Now, let's zoom out for a second. This raises a deeper question. Are we letting tech reviewers dictate what we can and can't do with our devices? Personally, I think we've become too reliant on benchmarks and spec sheets. Don't get me wrong, those are important, but they're not the whole picture. What this really suggests is that we need to rethink how we evaluate technology. Maybe it's not about finding the perfect machine, but about finding the one that works for you. And for a lot of people, the MacBook Neo seems to fit that bill. A detail I find fascinating is the idea that somewhere out there, a future world-famous cinematographer is probably cutting their teeth on a MacBook Neo right now. That's the power of accessibility. It's not about having the most high-end gear, it's about having the tools to start creating. And if the MacBook Neo can handle 4K video editing and 59 Chrome tabs without breaking a sweat, then it's doing something right. So, here's my closing thought. Maybe we should stop asking, is this device good enough, and start asking, is this device good enough for me? Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Technology is a tool, not a rulebook. And if the MacBook Neo can empower people to create, explore, and push boundaries, then it's more than just fine, it's exactly what it needs to be.